We got a guest. Just on
Wait.
time.
Hey,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Right. So, good evening to all in the UK, but I imagine it's the
Good afternoon to
Yeah.
everyone in the US.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So yeah, thanks for finishing that off because I was going to say morning, but it's not that far behind.
No. Depending on, No, actually, yeah. Everybody should be pretty much in the PM by now.
Yeah, true. Right. So we have a heck of a lot to talk about today. Obviously, you'll know as of the big pay-per-views that were had over this last weekend. And obviously, we've even got to next week's taping, with us being on a Tuesday. So we even got Raw from this week. But first of all, as much as we're regular on this channel in terms of live streams, and me and Carl, to be fair, Devon, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well, actually. I'm on my lunch break right now, so probably be here for like the next 45 minutes. But
Cool.
we're doing good.
Yeah, I'm going to fly through the what's happened this week in terms of NXT and Raw and SmackDown, and then get on to Double or Nothing straight after that if you've got limited amount of time, because I do want to speak to you both about that. So, Kyle, how are you?
I think Vince explained how I feel.
Insane.
That's how I feel about Double or Nothing, but we'll speak about that. But
yeah,
on the other hand, I'm decent. I'm good.
Gonna have a lot to say about this AEW pay-per-view. I'll say that.
Yeah, this is why I want to fly.
Yeah.
I'm going to fly through everything really quickly. Basically, Raw as of last week, the stuff that you don't already know. Obviously, you know who won both. But I don't know what that was. That was a random noise that came out of my mouth. So there was a yawn, and then there was a random noise at the end of that as well. So basically, the things that we don't already know, Bron Breakker did debut on Raw this week. He absolutely demolished like he does normally. The best bit for me was he ran round the side of the ring, absolutely pelted it around the side of the ring, the whole way around, and then speared the poor guy that he was that he was wrestling against. So imagine just a normal spear against Bron Breakker is going to hurt, but imagine it at full pelt, him literally like sprinting. Yeah, I would not want to have felt that. He did also, evening Lee.
Good evening, Lee.
He also, before he was stopped, he had the actual ring steps above his head ready to smack this poor guy before they stopped him. So yeah, he did smack this poor guy on the back of the head with a chair, and it literally the impact of it actually bent the chair. So yeah, he'd definitely have felt that one. And then he kind of squared up to the GM as well and was like, "You can't control me. This is what happens when you don't put me in the King of the Ring tournament." So yeah, that was fight and talk there. Obviously, we learned that Lyra Valkyria and Gunther got to the finals of the King of the Ring, and then Baszler and Zoe Stark then defeated Damage Control and Chance and Carter to become number one contenders for the tag title. So that was Raw. In terms of, let me make sure I delete the right Raw and not yesterday's. So SmackDown was quite non-existent. Obviously, we found out that Nia Jax and Orton got through to the finals. So that was SmackDown. NXT carried on the title for the North American title, the women's, with a couple of matches. Thea Hall faced Fallon Henley progressing, and then Brynley Reese and Jada Parker, where Jada Parker won, so they both go through to the next round. And then Joe Coffey and Wesley both won the match, so it's a triple threat for the Open Femi's title, which will be quite a good match.
Okay.
So that was the world of the week of wrestling before we got to the pay-per-views. So I'm going to skip through the Queen and the King of the Ring until we've got through this bit, because I know that both these guys are waiting to give their opinions on this. I don't think we're going to be. I think there's a lot of things that we'll agree on, because again, as much as me and Carl praise AEW and really like it, we've also got to be realistic as well. I always like to think myself as realistic, and if something is bad, we're still going to say it, regardless of whether you like that promotion better than WWE. Quite recently, I would have told you there's a big gap between the two for me in terms of liking them both, but I think that gap is slowly getting closer and closer each time a pay-per-view happens or a weekly show happens. I don't actually think, AEW is as good for me as it has been. I think it's in pretty dire straits right now. But we'll. First of all, I want to. So I made about kind of two lines how I looked at the pay-per-view as a whole before we break down each match and stuff. So I want a couple of sentences from each of you before I give my little bit. How you rated the pay-per-view as a whole in just like a brief sort of couple of sentences. Devon, I'm going to come to you first.
Ooh, how would I talk the entire pay-per-view? I would say in a short sentence, it would be, it had potential, but
Here we go.
very bad. Like, I'm not going to say very bad, but not great booking mixed with bad in-ring storytelling.
Kyle, shooting that same question to you.
Again, I think Vince explains that. I'm just angry at. Oh, you want just a couple of sentences? We'll get into the deep stuff in a minute, but like, if I was going to give you a short sentence, it would be Vince Russo madness.
That's a good one.
So this is what I tried to capture in kind of a few words. So I've put I feel very mixed surrounding the whole pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. As a whole, I did enjoy some of the matches, but overall, looking at the starting cards and how it turned out, I question if it fully lived up to its standards, which I still stand by, because I think that sums it up quite well. Because I was saying to Kyle just before we came in, when we was given that graphic last week in our little group chat and we had to do our predictions, that looked insane. Like, on paper, you think to yourself, my God, like, you've got so many matches there that could steal the show, that it was like, wow, any one of them could have been the best match. But as I look down, because I've scored each one, as I look down, that is completely gone against what I've just said, because there's three matches that go. There's three matches that go over a 2.5. And if you'd have told me that before I'd have watched the pay-per-view, I'd have been like, yeah, that's not happening. There's no chance that will happen. But yeah, I want to dive into each one. So first of all, the Roderick Strong and Will Ospreay. This was
Missed that one. Didn't we?
I did miss
Devon?
that.
We
Yeah, I
missed
think
that
we
one.
missed that one.
I
So
think we
this,
got into it after that.
yeah. So this, along with the barbed wire steel cage match, was my favourite. Were my favourite two. I rated them both 4 out of 5. I just think every single match. I know. Again, I sound like I'm being really biased, but I think every match that Will Ospreay's been put into so far in AEW has been perfect. I do think that's somewhat down to the caliber of wrestlers that he's facing, but I just think for me, the way in which I don't know, the way in which you can tell he puts thought into all of his matches. Like, he doesn't just do moves just for the sake of it. He's always thinking, right, how's that going to look to someone watching it? Just go kind of above and beyond, I think, anyway. So I thought it was incredible. But again, him and Roderick Strong are probably two of the most talented wrestlers that AEW have. So yeah, I just thought it was amazing. Obviously, Ospreay went on to win the title. So yeah, that's going to open a lot of doors for Ospreay. I think it'll be fantastic to see where that goes. So I'm going to pass it on to either one of you. Kind of talk me through the next bit. So obviously, Adam Cole came out with a devil mask. And yeah, I don't know if you guys want to, because I've obviously got my notes, but I want to try and get the raw, what you actually thought when it all happened, because obviously I found out after, like, before the pay-per-view that he'd come back, but obviously at the time you didn't know.
Me and Devon just got into the Discord with Taco and that, and got watching the whole thing, just as MJF was in the ring giving his, which I thought from what I saw was a great promo. And for me, I enjoyed it probably more than most things on the card, the whole show. It was great, I thought, from what I saw. I didn't catch the whole thing, but yeah, no, I thought it was great. But if you want to give us the details, Sam.
Yeah, so basically what happened, Adam Cole was out talking about, he had the mask that they had, the MJF, that he wore to reveal who he was. And so he had the mask, basically saying something about the mask. They then cut to such a sick promo where you saw the scarf that MJF wears over a mannequin. So you thought it was a real person, but then it was just a blank mannequin with the scarf. So it was building up that anticipation, you knew what was coming. But then the pop when he came out, the crowd just, honestly, it was so good. When you hear those sort of moments when the crowd just goes absolutely nuts, and all you can hear is just the crowd and nothing else, that just makes it, I think, even better.
I would say, for me, two things about the MJF promo. One, his tan was a little bit too much.
Yeah.
I don't know who advised him to get the spray tan, but it was not the best idea. And yeah, just like Leah said in the chat, we all made fun of his jacket looking like Triple H. I think that was hilarious. But outside of that, great promo. I don't want to be sound like I'm going to be going too bad on the show for the comments I'm going to say in the future. But I just want people to know, I think every match that I watched had potential to be incredible. Whether they were or weren't, most of them boil down to simple things. And a person like MJF actually has the things that I enjoy in wrestling. He has style, he has a personality, he has a certain swagger to him, and he can do in-ring storytelling, whether on the mic or actually through the matches. He knows how to tell stories and do promos with the little things on top of what he's saying. He knows how to like move in ways that are gonna like make the crowd react. You know, he knows how to win the show off the tattoo that's gonna drive the crowd wild at the end. Like he knows when and how to do the things. And I thought that promo was incredible.
I just want to add a little bit of context because the next bit's going to make sense to all of the people that watch this in the UK, but I know it's not going to make much sense to Devon, so I'm going to add a visual aid. A visual aid to kind of make sense to Devon what I'm actually saying. So. Bear with me. We are adding that right now.
Stussy.
So, to people that are British viewership will know what I mean when my first thought when MJF came out was Madge from Benidorm. To help Devon out, this is what Madge from Benidorm looks like. It's a really famous comedy type show in the UK, and that's what she looks like. And my instant reaction was that because obviously normally I don't think I've ever seen MJF like that before. So
wait, that wasn't MJF. That you just put on the screen.
Love it.
Like it's really weird, isn't it? It's one of those moments like when MJF. I don't think I'd ever seen him use any form of tan before.
I haven't either. I've seen him do promos and I've seen him do matches before. He doesn't look like that.
Nah,
so when he came out, it was almost I don't know. It was almost like in the time that he's been injured. He just sat. He went to like a far eastern country like Jeddah, where King was based, and just sat 24 hours a day in the sun, like literally just no break, 24 hours in the sun. So
yeah,
it was so bizarre.
Honestly, it was worse on his face. Like if you're gonna do the spray tan, maybe make sure that on your face at least it's like evened out. But no.
The thing is, they did him dirty as well because like his face was really brown, and then the top half of his body was a little bit brown, and then past his boob line, he then was literally just pasty white like me or Kyle. Like it didn't make any sense. Like it just didn't.
Read what Stussy just said.
MJF right now. Yeah. So sorry about that, Stussy.
Yeah,
we'll be talking about why we don't get that match a little bit later.
Oh yeah, we will be talking about that.
So next, I will be asking you guys if you have any thoughts about it because I fell asleep during this match. Not because the match was terribly boring, just because I had a late night the night before and woke up halfway through the Tony Storm match.
Wait,
so
what match is this?
It was the trios match. So
the trios match between
who was it between?
Oh yeah, the funny name factions. Why have they all got bad names? Why have all the factions got bad names? Who names these factions?
Yeah, see the thing that really gets it is that if you turned on for whatever reason you were switching channels at this point in America, and you go into this match with a tag team, a trios team called Bang Bang Gang and Death Triangle, you would have considered whether you'd turned on to the right thing or whether you'd gone to a far dark corner of the internet.
I'm going to be honest with you, Sam, right? I was just trying to think in my mind, like, what did this match actually go like? And I can't even remember much of the match. All I remember is that one of these teams have is it Neville? Was it Neville from WWE? What's his name now in AEW?
Pat.
Yeah, he's in one of these factions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That's all I remember, really. I don't even remember the match. I'll be real.
I haven't seen it obviously, but I was like on Bleacher Report today where they do like less bits from each match.
So I believe I remember the match, and it wasn't. No, okay, yeah, I remember this one. It wasn't like the best match, but it wasn't like the worst. It was better than what I thought a triple threat tag team match would be.
So the thing that Bleacher Report picked up as one of the best things of the match was that Ray Phoenix nearly slipped and fell during his entrance. So
Ooh.
I need to go back and try and find that to put in the group chat.
Yeah, we gotta find that footage, make it a GIF.
Again, I gave this one a score out of 5, but I didn't see it. So based on what I've read about it, I kind of came to the conclusion that it wasn't that great. And
I can't even remember it. So
I would, if I remember it properly, because I feel like there was a big moment where like the one part of the what was the Death Triangle, like one part of them kept getting like beat up and like was like in the middle of the ring, couldn't really get a tag in, but then once he did, the other two members kind of were like, they feel like more lucha libre style, so I felt like they did their, when one of them came in, they both got the opportunity to come in and do like the little clear out the ring moment, and they worked pretty well together. I think I would have gave this one like probably like 2.5, maybe 3 out of 5 stars.
So you will find that unfortunately most of my ratings are either 2 or 2.5. There's only, like I say, like 3 of the matches that aren't either 2 or 2.5. So if that goes on to say what the rest of the pay-per-view does, then
no. That was definitely more like a 2.5, on the scale. Maybe a 3 if you really like those type of matches. I think they did. Honestly, and this is probably a point with all the matches, they all went on way too long. That match should have ended probably 10 minutes before it actually ended, because they weren't actually doing anything. They were kind of at that point just like trying to figure out how to prolong the match, and it's almost like you could tell.
See, this is the thing that probably frustrates me is that all these matches should have been fairly short, and then the time should have been put into the Adam Copeland match, which I think it was, but then it should have been put into the Anarchy in the Arena match at the end.
Yeah, honestly, they should have put more time, and I know this is going to sound crazy, they should have put more time and more violence into the freaking match between Takashi and what is his name from WWE, for the WJ Championship or WPJ. For that one, what's his name?
John Moxley.
Yeah, John Moxley. Of all the matches to not be like extremely long and extremely brutal, it was that one, which was like, what do you got? Everybody else is bleeding all around and doing all this crazy stuff. Meanwhile, John Moxley has to have a normal match where he's like having to feign an arm injury the whole time. And I'm not saying it's not a real arm injury or anything like that. Maybe it is real. I don't know if it's kayfabe or not. I just feel like, going into a match where you see other people trying to be extreme, and then of all matches, John Moxley doesn't even get the bleed. Bro, you know he's pissed.
Moxley was pissed off. Like he was pissed off watching all the rest of the matches. He was like in the back, like fuck, we can't. He was like, nah.
It could have been put into like that kind of match. Could have been they could have made Jericho, Hook, and Shibata a little bit more extreme than they did. And then I do think John Moxley's match would have been different had he have not had that thing on with his arm. Like I do think that would have been very different if that was full fitness John Moxley. But
I mean, there was a point where they did bring out weapons, but even then, it was kind of like the Canes, and they didn't really use too much of them. It was a lot more in-ring wrestling, which I mean, I appreciated it, but I just thought, like, dang, of all the matches tonight, the one guy where everybody's like, oh yeah, he's gonna be pulling out something to bleed in the night. It's for the championship. Oh, it's the big match, it's the big pay-per-view. Everybody expected something crazy to happen in that match, and it just was so crazy for this to be like the least violent match pretty much of the night, outside of like, what's her face? The the one match with the chick from the 50s.
Tony Storm.
Yeah, the Tony Storm match. Like,
Chick from the 50s.
from what I saw, it was like those were the
Don't
two
say
least
that.
violent matches, honestly.
It's funny you say that, because that was the next match, and I've got some points to say about this one.
Oh man, yeah, that match I didn't.
So
I was, oh man, go ahead, get it.
So I've got two things. I just think this is the most pointless title reign I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like, you go into every single match that she's in knowing the outcome before the match has even started, and then they don't even do anything where they make it look competitive. It's always the same. It's like John Cena of the era, like where
the John Cena run, insane.
Yeah, it's like it's the John Cena of the Ruthless Aggression era, because you knew what happened in those matches. He would get beat up for a good 95% of the match, and then that 5%, he'd come up and he'd like do this amazing sort of shit to then win. It's a bit like that. Like, you think that something's going to change and Toni Storm's going to lose the title, and then out of nowhere she just becomes this like colossal superstar and just takes over everything. And then to make matters even worse, Serena Deeb before the match said that it would be the best match in AEW women's, like the best match between two women wrestlers in AEW. And I thought to myself, Christ, I hope, because if that's the best match that we're ever going to see, God, there's got to be some bloody
I
awful.
promise you, I've seen better matches between women in AEW before.
I've seen better wrestling matches in somebody's backyard between two female wrestlers. I've seen better wrestling fights with two women that are just arguing outside an house in the UK or in America. Like, it was just terrible. Like, I don't know. I just, for me, that summed up the whole kind of pay-per-view. Just laughable. Like,
for me, the Toni Storm match can be summed up with butt shots. A lot of the camera guy was doing his job.
I'm
that night.
I'm not complaining.
See, that's bad, isn't it? Because shocking.
Yeah, her opponent.
We're all thinking it. I'm just the first to admit it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Devon.
I'm gonna say the opponent didn't give us much to work with as far as those same type of shots. Very
True.
flat back there, and
honestly, you don't want to know what we were saying when we were watching it.
Yeah, when we were watching it, things can't be aired on here, but not the best comments. And unfortunately, the match went on way too long. I don't know why that match was like 30 minutes, but it felt like an hour. It was just like, what are y'all even doing at this point? And then the heel turn, the turn at the end with her freaking the person or whatever happened at the end, like it was so weird. Wait, they didn't do a heel turn on that one, no. It was I'm thinking of a different match.
Just the quick interlude. I feel this is needed.
You're a donut. You're so stupid. You're so stupid. You're stupid.
Good timing.
Yeah, like that's all it was. It's just very dumb of a match that went on way longer than it should have. And you're just like, okay, can somebody just win this already? Nobody wants to see this old chick win this belt anyway. Obviously, you're going to give it to Toni Storm. Toni Storm's not going to lose tonight. Let's not prolong this right now. This is getting weird.
It's weird though, because like in the bigger picture of things, there is so many like talented female wrestlers on the on the AEW roster. So to me, like it's ruining like the women's ability to showcase their talents. And eventually, if Tony Storm keeps winning and nobody gets anywhere close, they're just going to all jump ship to TNA and WWE and wherever else will actually give them genuine opportunities. So it's going to be AEW's wrongdoing at the end of the day because they're all just going to jump ship.
I also don't enjoy the Tony Storm's gimmick.
No, I don't.
Like, I don't think, and if they are gonna do it, I feel like they need to go full in with it. But you know, it's like, nah, let's just pretend like she's a 1950s person and go through that, make the thing black and white when she's on the screen.
It's just boring. It's just like boring. It's just the same thing each time. Like you need to, if you're gonna have a character, you need to do it in very clever ways so that every time it comes out, it feels like it's something different, but it just isn't. Like it's just so dull.
Like maybe
I
if she
can't
like
see it.
does promos or something.
If they're smart, they would change it up pretty soon. I think. I'd like to think so.
Oh, I never saw the old Tony Storm.
To be honest, I can't even remember the old Tony Storm, so I can't even really give my input.
That says it all.
Yeah. I just got into AEW like this year for real, so you know.
It's just frustrating. It's nothing on her. See, the thing is, it's nothing on her in-ring ability. I think she's really good in the ring. It's just,
I don't mind her in-ring stuff.
It's
like,
just, the way in which AEW are booking her and the way in which they're doing things is not good. So again, I gave that one a 2. Like this is very consistently 2s across the board. So the next one, again, I've got no notes about it really. I just think it went on for way too long. Orange Cassidy and Trent Barretta, like obviously,
oh my god,
it was bad. Also, the storyline building up to it was really good. I think, because you have kind of old friends, bitter rival sort of vibe.
Best friends, right?
Our boy Taco is a big Orange Cassidy fan.
Yeah, me and Taco was kind of falling out over this.
I'll be honest. I've seen way better Orange Cassidy matches before, and also the gimmick. We'll get to it. Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead. We'll get to it.
Again, I've just put Orange wins. It was okay, but nothing to really write about. Orange came out to his old music. That shows how crap the match was. If they're my 3 lots of notes, that shows how bad it was. That I didn't wrestle. Like I haven't mentioned once anything in ring. All the stuff is just that somebody won. He had his own music, and it was okay, and went on for too long. That's it.
He didn't come out boring like how he usually would, like with his hands in his pockets. And he came out pretty fiery, really, didn't he? Like because it was his best friend.
Swinging.
But
it came out with a little bit of a punch fest that was completely choreographed, as you can tell. They worked on it for 30 straight minutes before they got into the ring. Like
that's exactly what I was going to say.
You can literally like, oh, your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn. Let's make sure we both go here. Like, bro, this is so court, and I'm trying not to be brutal, but like, I don't know, make it feel more real when you're doing stuff like that. You know, you see Stone Cold and The Rock exchanging blows, you know, Triple H exchanging blows with somebody. There's a momentum and a force behind it that looks like it's actually connecting. And when they go back and forth, even when it's scripted, it looks like it's just 2 people going at it in that moment. Make it look a little bit more like that.
It kind of looks a little bit like, I'm just going to post our minds back a little bit to when we used to go outside at school and we fighting outside and everybody was crowded around and going, oh yeah, punch him a bit more, punch him harder. Like that was genuinely kind of what it felt like, just like a little playground sort of scrap.
Yeah, completely. Like
what happened with the finish? Like I was like, obviously in the predictions we done, I chose the other guy to win, not Orange Cassidy. What's the other guy's name? Yeah, that guy. I chose him to win because I don't really like Orange. So now I like Orange Juice, but I don't like Orange Cassidy. But yeah, I chose the other guy, and I thought that this other guy won, but obviously he didn't. Orange Cassidy's fucking music was playing, so I was all confused. I was like, yes, no, yeah, what? Like what?
I honestly forgot who won when it happened, but the only note from that match I remember is the moment Orange Cassidy put his hands in his pockets. It actually went horrible for him. I thought it looked bad, like storyline, like match telling. Like when you're doing the story through the match, it didn't feel right for the moment he put his hands in his pockets. He immediately starts getting beat up because he obviously has no defense. Like your hands are now in your pockets. You're in the corner. Of course, when you do that, you're going to start getting direct hits to the face with no way to block them. You would expect, like, if you're going to tell the story through the match of like, oh, once he puts his hands in his pockets, he's like, you can't get beat up, or like he's going to, get out of this. Either have him dodge it or no sell it. And I don't advise no selling, but I don't know, maybe make it so when he puts his hands in his pockets, his dodging ability goes up.
Fair enough. If you're Brock Lesnar, no sell it.
Exactly. If you're Brock Lesnar, no sell it. But if you're this guy, I don't know, maybe put your hands in your pocket. All of a sudden, you can dodge every blow. Something like that. Not just, oh, I put my hands in my pockets. Okay, now the other guy's just straight up beating me up and I'm falling down. Like, like I don't know, just make it how it work in the video game or something. Just you put your hand in your pocket, you're invulnerable for a second, and then you could do some moves without, some kicks or something. I don't know, but it didn't feel right for him to immediately get beat up, have to get put back up, and then get beat up again, and then he finally does one move with hands in his pockets. Like, okay,
if I'm honest. If I didn't have to do this review of the pay-per-view, having watched those two matches and then having watched the next two, I would have definitely turned off before I got to my second page of notes, because the next matches are just as shocking. Like, I hate to break it to you, but like us moaning, it's not going to get any better for quite a while. So
no, the matches it actually gets so much worse when we talk about. Can we talk about the Edge match next? Is that the next one?
No, that's not the next one. You've got a way to go yet. So, yeah. So if you're not a big fan,
we still got Jericho. Oh god!
Oh my god! I hate Jericho. I hate looking at Jericho. He looks like an Eggman.
If you don't want to listen to us bash AEW for the next 20 minutes straight, then I would turn off, because that's what you're going to get, I'm afraid.
I tried to be fair, but
I just want to talk about the monstrosity that was a match for the F2W Championship. I have never in all my life been so disappointed from seeing come out of a bag in my life. Like, I'm thinking, oh yeah, we're going to spread thumbtacks around the ring. This is great.
Oh my god!
No,
oh my god! Kyle, do you remember how upset I got when they pulled out that goddamn bag?
Oh my god, yeah.
How upset I got?
Yeah.
And then they showed it around as if it was going to be something cool to come out. We all know that bag signifies thumbtacks or something. Spikes. I don't fucking know.
Legos would have been better.
Lego would have been much better.
Much better.
But when he starts tipping it out, I had to readjust my eyes. I had to close them and then open them again to make sure that I'd actually was seeing straight and not dreaming that he threw dice onto the mat.
Yeah. Dice.
I must have been if I was Hook or Shibata at that moment, I would have been absolutely shitting myself. I'd have been going, oh no, not dice.
Bro, if I was an audience member in the stands, I would have immediately wanted to walk out the building right there, because you put out fucking dice. And let's talk about how ineffective these dice were. They slammed each other on the dice. Boom. They pretend like it hurts the first time. Every other time, they are getting dice thrown at them and they don't even notice Because it's fucking dice. It's to the point where they have to like throw dice at each other multiple times just to
but Devon,
make it.
it is double or nothing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Fucking
It's
hell.
double or nothing. So they gotta
Ooh.
implement the like.
I tell
Why
you
not
what,
just bring on coins or
Fuck's
something
sake.
at that point? Like,
Yeah.
like dice is like literally. I don't even think it hurts if you step on dice barefoot.
I tell you what, you say this, but I know what's going to happen now. Hollywood's going to cotton on to this because in all these gangster films, they're not going to be pulling knife out of their pocket anymore. They're going to be pulling ice, and they're going to go, "Yeah, that's it," and then they're going to start throwing it, and it's going to cause some serious destruction.
We don't need bullets anymore, guys.
Yeah.
Drive-by dice, dice throws.
Death by dice, as you would.
Oh my god, it was so bad.
So this wasn't the only thing that was really bad about this match. The fact that they call themselves the learning tree, like
I didn't like that.
That to me is just honestly, if you walk into a primary school of your choice, I wouldn't advise walking into a primary school of your choice.
I wouldn't advise Chris Jericho walking into a school of any type.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure legally Jericho probably can't be around kids or schools.
And if you picked out the first book that you saw, that would be called The Learning Tree. Like, yeah, that was really bad. Among other things, they tried to break a table that didn't break at all.
I remember that.
That could have been a lot more dangerous than it played out, which is good. Obviously, nobody got seriously hurt.
Yeah. Can we talk about how during that moment, Chris Jericho had his head up and was looking directly at them the entire time they were on the rope, and then they still missed him, and he had to just like play it off like, oh yeah, like I thought he was gonna reverse it or something. The way he actually popped his head up and looked over at the two of them, like, bro, at that point, just like get up and do a reversal. Like nobody's gonna believe that you're like passed out on the table. Your head is up. You turned your head over 30 degrees to look at them. We can all tell.
I do think it's one award for me. I think the award it's won is the softest no rules match that I have ever seen in my entire life. Like
they really did their hardest to break that one table. They really tried their hardest.
Well,
hello?
Kyle might be back soon.
Can you hear me?
But yeah, I don't know why. Looking at it, for some reason I gave this match a 2.5, but actually I'm going to take that back down to 2 because there was no way that this was any better than the shite 3 matches that we saw before it. There was no way that was better than the Orange Cassidy monstrosity.
Honestly, I thought it was a 1.5. It's kind of worse for me.
To be honest, yeah, having talked about it, you're probably right there. So over the last couple of weeks, quite a lot of people have said, right, is it the time for Jericho to step down? I've battered them off before now and said, oh no, he's still got a place there. But actually, having spoke to Kyle on Sunday, and he said, is it the time now? I actually would now agree and say probably yes. Like that was
definitely.
Like, I have never seen anything like it.
I love Stussie's comment. Hook over the young upstart Jericho. Yeah. Jericho needs to start somewhere.
The thing is, like, I do kind of want him to last until me and Carl go to All In, because they'll do the live performance of Judas again.
That'd be sick.
So
I would like to
want him to last until then, just so I can see the entrance again, and then after that, yeah, you can go on your merry way to wherever you want to go to.
Yeah, I would say like I do got to go in a second, guys. But before I go,
No.
I do want to say a couple of things about this match here. Yeah, I don't like Chris Jericho. I've just looking at him kind of like it. I don't enjoy looking at him as a wrestler. I think his body is shaped weird now. Um, I remember him back in the day, you know, it's not like he had the best physique, but like now it's just one of those things where he looks like he should just be hanging it up. Like, come
Right.
on, guy, put it up.
Quickly, before you need to go,
yeah.
I'm going to give you the rest of the matches, and I want one word for each of them.
Okay.
John Moxley and Takeshita for the IWGP Championship.
I'll try to keep it as like one phrase because I don't know if I'll be able to keep this under one word. But
Okay.
Very underwhelming. I wish they could have done more. I was considering so many matches were trying to go for like a hardcore feel. That one not having it as much, kind of disappointing. But all in all, not too bad. Probably give it like a 2.5.
The barbed wire match between Adam Copeland and Malachi Black.
Oh my God. First of all, Edge, I feel so bad. But also, what are the rules? Was that just like a only pinfall and submission match? Because Edge clearly got knocked out of the ring. And then they just let other stuff happen, and that was it. So I didn't get that part of it. I guess that's just me not knowing about AEW steel cage matches, where leaving the steel cage apparently does not win the match for you. I literally never seen that before. But yeah, outside of that, yeah, Edge broke his freaking leg over here trying to do things. And we were talking about this during it, but I don't know if that was like, I think he was trying to go for an elbow and then realized that he was gonna fuck his back up if he went for an elbow and decided to land on his feet instead, which was like
worst thing.
Yeah, probably the worst
worst
mistake he could have made.
He's lucky to get away with what he did, I think.
Yeah. He's got so many years of wrestling experience. I can't believe he did that. So yeah, very disappointing on that side.
I think it's a little bit different though, isn't it? Like when you don't have much time to think about it. So when you're like you don't have much time to think about it. So in that split second, if you don't make that call, you end up doing what he did, planting his feet. Like,
I think old Edge would have 100% decided to just go for it and launch his elbow or something like that. But obviously he's older now. He made a decision he would not have made 10 years, maybe even 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, outside of that, probably my favorite match of the night.
Willow against Mercedes Moné. I'll have a lot to say about this one.
Yeah, I hated that match. Probably, I wish it never happened. I wish I could erase it from my memory.
That's a good call.
Actually, no. I will say I do love Willow. I just enjoy looking at her physically. She is my type. And if the stars ever meet, Willow, follow my channel. Just know if it ever happens, it happens. Things may have to, be broken apart if things could happen with Willow. So, let me know.
After that, we'll just do two matches really quickly. So Swerve Strickland versus Christian Cage for the title.
Again, another slightly disappointing match. I thought more was going to happen. I will say though, I like Swerve Strickland's in-ring ability. I like the way he goes about his matches, the way he kind of like he does the thing where he does the like stalking his prey type of feel during his matches, and he has that like sadistic smile, and he knows how to do a lot of like little things to really like play up the match. He knows how to do in-ring storytelling really well, and I wish he was on WWE, but he would never be able to get the chances he gets now on WWE. So shout outs to him for like kind of being one of the shining lights in AEW. It was Hell in the Cell rules. Okay.
Real men fight outside the cage. Hey.
CM Punk is still the real world champ.
So I'll leave it at that because I think we've got a lot to talk about on the other matches.
All right, guys. But yeah, I will catch y'all on the next one, everybody.
Thanks for coming in your lunch break.
Oh yeah, I
Enjoy.
got to get back to it. Yeah, follow, like, comment, subscribe. With where is it? Right here. Bam.
Yeah,
right there.
We'll put the banner up at the end as well in your absence.
Hey, y'all have a good one though.
Bye. Right, so I think we've basically touched on the Moxley one because there wasn't much to talk about. Yeah, no worries, Lee.
See you, Lee.
So I think there's more to talk about on that Adam Copeland match, to be fair. Again, I put it as my joint favourite match of the pay-per-view. It was just like the chaos that I know me and you like to witness. Like, it was just mental.
Yeah.
Like, barbed wire was used like really inventively a lot of the time, which was really cool.
I think Edge actually, do you know at the start when he first cut open Malachi with the barbed wire? I think that was like the only bit of actual barbed wire in there as well, like because all the rest is obviously gimmicked a bit, like it's shaven down and stuff. So I think he actually used the actual. I'm not sure how true it is, but that's what I've seen.
Yeah, there were certain moments where, a lot of it, like I don't think they did a very good job of it at some points because, like, when they were wrapping, like, you imagine if you're holding barbed wire and physically wrapping it around someone, that pain is going to be so bad. Whereas they made it kind of look really easy at points, so they made it kind of made it look fake at some points. But yeah, that doesn't take away from how good it was. Obviously, Adam Copeland came out to a Slayer song rather than the usual entrance. The ropes and the mat was just completely covered in blood, which was really sadistic of me to say, but so yeah, there was that, and then obviously Adam Copeland won, but there was that was a cool, really cool kind of throwback when Gangle came out and started like smashing people up, which is so cool.
His fangs look crazy as well. Did you see his fangs? They were like that big. Pause.
His character's so cool, and it's like it was like when people were actually genuinely scary to look at, like that era of wrestling. They did like really well of making people look like scary and menacing, and he was certainly one of them. Like, his whole character was quite scary, but then his actual image was also added to that kind of like scary edge to it. But obviously we've with that being so good, we have unfortunately got to talk about the bad as well, in that it's been confirmed today that Edge has broke his leg, which I'm really annoyed about. Like, obviously these things happen, but I just think he was finding his feet as a champion, and he's had some like amazing matches so far. And obviously, if it's a broken leg, like it's not one that he can kind of keep his title. They'll have to kind of take it away from him. But I do hope when he's back that they give him it straight back. Because again, it's through no fault of his own that he's going to have to give it up. Like, he gave everything to that match, even if it meant
after it as well. Remember, like after it, he still got up and gave him a spear and stuff like that. Like, and obviously the adrenaline's still there, but like he still went on for. He was still standing like on it with Gangrel when Gangrel was holding him up.
That excitement of the match and that adrenaline just completely wore off because he just could barely walk. So yeah, that's it. So it's kind of like, yes, it was an amazing match, but for me, I'm kind of more disappointed because I think he was getting a title run that he richly deserves for everything that he's done for wrestling. With this being like, it will be like his last run of wrestling. So, yeah, it's just one of those ones that's really disappointing, I think. But yeah, I hope it's given straight back to him when he's back. Well, that's if he comes back, obviously, because
Who knows, isn't it?
Yeah, if you're of that age and something like this happens, yeah, it's one of those ones that you can either say, do you know what, like, I've had a good run in it, like, I'll give it up, or you can go back. So obviously, I hope it is the latter, in that he does come back. But obviously, you know that when someone's of that age and have had a career like he has, at some point you've got to go, yeah, enough's enough. So hopefully that isn't it. But yeah, that was that. I just want to briefly touch on the Willow and Mercedes Moné, because I was writing it, as I was writing my notes today, I was writing it with annoyance, because I don't know. Yes, Mercedes Moné is a huge name, to the point of, like, last year when I was an All In, that was when the rumours first started that she would come to AEW because she was in the arena and stuff. But I'm really annoyed that she's walked straight in and got a title so easy. I think it's really unfair on Willow Nightingale giving it to her for one pay-per-view and then saying, "Oh yeah, just because somebody's a bigger draw than you are, we're going to give you give her the title." Like, I'd be well and truly pissed off, because obviously Willow is one of those ones that she was kind of catapulted into the picture. She then won it. Everybody really liked her as a champion, and now, yeah, I would just be fuming, because I'd be thinking, well, you've sold me a dream, basically. You've given me a title for one pay-per-view. Like, nobody's ever going to remember a champion that had it for one pay-per-view. So,
no. When has that ever really happened? Like,
I know.
on the odd occasion, but yeah, it's not a smart move, really, is it?
It's really frustrating, because I think she is really talented, but now she'll probably go, do you know what? Like, I don't know. She'll probably go, I'm clearly not appreciated in this brand again. So she might just go somewhere else now. So yeah, it was a crap match as well. Nothing really happened. And I don't think, like, again, this is where people could go against me for something like this, but I honestly don't think that since Mercedes Moné has come into AEW that she's shown any promise, really. Like, she's just come in, shot a few promos, looked amazing in the ring, because that's what they make everybody new and everybody big, like. But I don't think she's done anything to even deserve a championship opportunity, let alone to be given it. So, again, people might say, "Oh, well, but she's Mercedes Moné," and I'm like, well, I don't really care, because you might be a big draw, but I don't know. I just don't think that these big names should walk onto a brand and just get given a title straight away. I don't think that's how it should work. Like, you've got to have you've got to, like, you earn your title shots. Like, you shouldn't just be given them because of who you are. But I don't know. It's one of those. Yeah, so Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage, I thought it was okay. I thought it was one of the better matches of the pay-per-view, because the rest of it didn't have much to live up to, so it's not really a massive compliment. But I thought it was okay. Like, there was lots of near falls. Like, there was some good spots. Like, I thought it was okay. It wasn't main event standard. Like they said, the 3 main events. It makes you laugh, really, because if you're going to have 3 main events, all those main events have got to be good, and all of them were pretty shite. Like, that one's probably the best out of a bad bunch, which is just embarrassing, really, when you say, "Oh yeah, we've got 3 main events, but all of them will be shite." That's what they may as well have said when they were spinning those things to see who's gone first. Oh yeah, you can stay around for these main events, but you're not going to enjoy them. Does Swerve make it all in as world champion? I don't know.
I can see it. To be fair, I can see it.
Yeah,
I hope they do. I hope they do that.
Yeah, because I got an email this morning saying that we're 3 months from it now. And I do think, to be fair, just calling it out there, I do think if they was to give MJF fighting a couple of like big fights before then, I do think that would make a great main event for Strickland and MJF, to be fair. They're both of the same kind of build. Both very talented. I think that could be an awesome main event, to be fair. But yeah, so again, like Swerve obviously retained. And then this last match, I don't know. I just think,
like, that's all I got to say about this. What in the fuck?
Yeah.
What in the fuck? Because, like, oh, yeah. Go on.
The thing is, like, the thing is, we're doing this channel, and as wrestling fans, we do everything possible for people to not take the piss out of wrestling. But if they switched on at this match, if they switched on, didn't watch any of the rest of this monstrosity this pay-per-view was, but if they switched on just for this match and watched this match, I would say, do you know what? You deserve to take the piss. Because it was just, I don't know, it's just shocking.
What was going on with the music shit? Like, why did
don't get me started on that shit. Like, so, first of all, like, I put my first note of, because obviously they normally do these matches really well, like these Anarchy in the Arenas, Stadium Stampede type matches. They normally do them amazingly. So I was really looking forward to this. I thought after a shit pay-per-view, this might just save it. And fast forward to the comedy act, where they started to just play this random piece of music before. So it was just random, and I'm thinking, this is really annoying, because it was just like a monotone sort of
it went on for way too long.
Like, and it was just like, come on, just turn it off. It was almost like the sound department had been taken over by like a 5-year-old, and they just kept pressing buttons to make different sound effects. It was like when you go to school.
Tony Khan.
Yeah. When you used to be in school in the music class, and at the back of the room, this kid would just piano and go, DJ, 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 and pressing it over.
Yeah. Yeah.
On it.
Excellent. Very good.
Yeah. Literally just like that. So it was just so, like, these things, like these Anarchy in the Arena, Stadium Stampede, they're normally filled with like, oh my God, holy shit moments. But there was not a single holy shit moment in the whole thing, even the shocking ending. So the music gimmicks started as a little bit of fun. So the Bucks got the mic and said, "Oh, this is our new theme song. Play it now." And then Daniel Bryan got on the mic and said, "Oh, this is the best wrestling theme ever." And I thought they were going to play his like WWE but they didn't. They played the Final Countdown. So the crowd were chanting Final Countdown, and they were singing it, and I'm thinking, this is just making it even more embarrassing. So and then I think we had and then somebody else came on the microphone. I'm like, how many music changes are we going to have? And he's like, oh yeah, just cut the music. And I'm going, oh God, I thought, amazing. That's going to be the best thing the whole match when they stopped the music. And I wasn't wrong. So then they did that whole angle where the truck, it looked like it ran over Darby Allin, but it didn't run over.
Oh my God, yeah. He just no-sells getting run over.
Yeah, it was like... It was just embarrassing, because it was literally like, do you know, like one of those, one of the adverts where it's like the speed awareness and thing stop, and it was just literally like it was just the guy that drove the truck had somehow found his way into the windscreen of the car and had just like smashed against it. It looked like he'd been in like a 70-mile-an-hour crash with another car. And he'd not done anything. He'd run over a bit of garbage, and I'm thinking, God, this is awful.
Yeah, you just saw Jeff Perry like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Dead. Literally, incapacitated to the point where his like head was dropping off his shoulders. Yeah, and then they go, "Oh my God, has he run over Darby Allin?" And I'm thinking, no, he's not run over anything. Like, so, and then we go on to the end. I don't really know how to sum this bit up, to be honest.
Oh wait, I think you might be missing the bit when Tony comes out. Well, gets dragged
that's
out.
what I was going to say just before. So
yeah,
Tony gets dragged out and gets like 15 seconds of screen time before like we're passed on Darby Allin holding a flamethrower, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what next?
it's
Like,
totally unnecessary. Like.
Just end it. And I'm thinking to myself, can this get any worse? And then it did. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what they were thinking, what the creative department, what Tony Khan, what Darby Allin, what everybody included in this brand was thinking. Oh yeah, I know what a good thing is. It would be to set on fire somebody's leg. Like, I don't know. I've really got no words to explain it other than, yeah, Darby Allin set fire to someone's leg. Make it make any sense.
Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
And then the worst thing was after that as well. It just got worse and worse. Like I can't wait to see what Jim Cornette's got to say about this. I cannot wait. Because it was just Vince Russo like, I think.
I don't know. It's just, you would have thought that it's damage limitation at the minute for AEW, because still they're being laughed about because of all the shit that's happened. So they've done something again to make people laugh even harder. Like, it's just really embarrassing from them at the minute. I just think it shows their, I think it shows their, I don't know, stupidity, if I'm honest, because they're already at a point where people are taking the piss. So if people are taking the piss, you don't want to make it any worse for yourself. But they have. So I don't get it at the minute. This is why the gap for me between AEW and WWE, for me anyway, is slowly closing, because it's just becoming a comedy show. It's not even becoming wrestling anymore. For the majority of it, it's just becoming a standard.
I see,
comedy.
like you know when there's the hardcore fans of AEW like saying like, oh, fucking, like this is where actual wrestling happens. Like it's not really about storytelling, but it's where the wrestling happens, and then that's the shit we get. Like what?
Yeah, I can see the people in our little circle of wrestling that didn't really like AEW before, that are now just laughing at both me and you for ever standing up for it, because it's just.
Don't get mistaken, right? I like a bit of AEW and the hardcore stuff, but like WWE's way in front, in my opinion, when it comes to actual wrestling, and it's not even like that's a bad thing, because how can they be not in front? They've been going forever. Do you know what I mean? It just makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just think it's getting a joke in recent times. AEW, like it's a joke. It's a fucking joke. Tony Khan needs to sort his head out. I'm sorry, but he does.
To the point, yeah, no, it is, because it's to the point that me and you can say all the good things about it.
I'm sweating after that. It's a little rant.
See, I can say all the good things about it and all that it like stands for and stuff, and all the amazing like hardcore matches. Like, but at the minute, I can't actually stand up for it, and I've got to say, do you know what? At the minute, it's just a little bit embarrassing, because it kind of is.
It is. It is.
So, before I go on to the last bit, which is I'll like quickly fire through Queen of King of the Ring and then go through Raw. But there was a big, so basically the UK's version of WrestleMania in terms of Progress Wrestling. Super Strong Style 16 happened over the weekend. Shelton Benjamin was one of the people in it that everybody would know. It's a couple of other big names as well in terms of like UK-based wrestling. Luke Jacobs went on to win that whole tournament. And then the other thing that I wanted to just highlight before I go to the King of the Ring and Raw was that Becky Lynch still hasn't signed a new contract. So as of last night's steel cage match, which I'll go on to like very shortly, that could be her last match because she will be being officially a free agent as of June the 1st if she doesn't sign a contract.
She'll resign. She'll resign her. Definitely.
So the expectation is that Lynch will receive the biggest contract offer of any woman in pro wrestling history, but whether she accepts it or not is unknown. There was no indication that she wouldn't resign, but as you know, in wrestling, anything can happen. That was according to Fightful Select.
She'll resign. Definitely.
I don't know. I would.
Where else would she go? She won't go to AEW. No, not a chance.
I do think you're probably right in that she's got nowhere else better to go, so she'll probably stay for that fact. So quickly, just to run through quite quickly what happened at Queen and King of the Ring. Women's tag team match was like on the pre-show, which I didn't see. So Bianca and Jade retained the title. The women's World Championship match, Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan. I really enjoyed it. They both showcased their talent. Obviously, Dom interfered, which allowed Liv to pick up the win.
And got a kiss. And got a little cheeky kiss. Yeah. Ooh.
So the Judgment Day, I think, are in a little bit of trouble, to be honest. Like them all kind of disbanding and stuff. Because Dominic Priest did actually tweet after this match and then after Raw as well. He put from bad to worse. ... SMH. What does SMH stand for? I'm not
Shake my head.
I think. That's it.
I think.
See, I'm not down with the kids with all these acronyms and stuff, so it's a good job.
I'm not with most of them. That's just one that I do happen to know. Ish. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure.
It does make sense. It does make it in the context of from bad to worse. Shake my head. It does make sense. So there's a triple threat between Bronson Reed, Sami Zayn, and Chad Gable. Again, much like the women's champ match, I enjoyed it. Chad Gable did German suplex both Sami Zayn and Bronson Reed, which is fairly impressive. But I did hear the other day that one of the commentators had said that Chad Gable was one of the strongest men in the whole of wrestling, which I thought was a little bit of an exaggeration, to be fair. So we then moved on to the Queen of the Ring match,
God.
which was by far for me anyway the worst match of the whole thing.
No surprise.
Not only because I can't stand the winner, but I just thought it was just really predictable. I do think Lyra Valkyria, to be fair, looked quite good. So at least that was the only positive from the match because they didn't make her look shit. But Nia Jax won. It's just crap. Like, she just can't wrestle. But yet she's been given these opportunities. So, yeah, I don't get it. I've always thought she was a crap wrestler. And, yeah, it's backed up, not just by me, but I think quite a lot of people think the same thing. Then go on to the match of the night for me by a mile. Gunther and Randy Orton was an incredible match. I think that would be one of the most enjoyable matches that I'll watch of the year. It was just everything that it should be on paper, like a physical, like grueling match.
Wasn't there a bit of controversy at the end, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, so basically, the Yeah, essentially, yeah, you're right there. He is
Plus, he's
now
on people's ass today.
he's now part of the management structure. She's probably like hold someone hostage and be like, yeah, just give Nia Jax it. So yeah, at the end, I believe Randy Orton's shoulder came up or something of the like just before the 3 count. But yeah, I don't know if that was a botch or whether that was meant to happen or what. But yeah, that was easily the best match of the night. I thought the atmosphere was really good for this match, but for the rest of the night, I thought it was pretty dead. Like, you saw the size of the arena, like it was massive. And for them to only get really hyped up during that match, yes, fair enough, they got hyped up because it was a great match. But I just think the atmosphere is a bit shit. And then obviously the main event, which was just a glorified, I don't know what it was, just a massive squash match. It was okay, but I felt that it's way too rushed, which, to be honest, I'm not even that mad about because it just was a nothing match. I'm getting a little bit annoyed at the fact that they're using Logan Paul in the same way in every single match. Like, I just want one match where he doesn't use brass knuckles and when he doesn't have to jump off the top rope for a table. I just want those two things to happen because he's a good wrestler. You don't need to do the same things over and over again. I did a little bit laugh when he basically started shouting at Michael Cole and then Corey Graves had to kind of hold him back from going to Michael Cole, which I thought was pretty cool. But overall, I did really enjoy this pay-per-view as it was. Lots of like variety of different matches and lots of really good in-ring work. So not that there was any question which one that I preferred because I think it was pretty easy. I think everybody could tell you the answer to that one.
I didn't even see it, and I could.
Yeah, you already know it was better than that monstrosity.
Yeah.
So, quickly, just going on to Raw. Obviously, last night, Gunther came in first of all. The attention was put on Dominic Priest, but then shock horror, what happens again? Drew comes out first thing in the show for the 19th week running, what feels like now. Like every single time Raw starts, Drew has to have some part of it. Like it's just boring. So he comes out. He didn't like to be left out the conversation. He's like one of those people. Do you know when you were younger, there used to be lads that stood outside my house and just knocked on my window to see if I was there, even when I wasn't there. And you'd be like, "Oh, can I wait? Can I wait until he comes back?" And my parents would be like, "No, that's really weird." He's like that person when you were younger that used to stand at your window and just watch if you were in all the time. Like Drew's that annoying person.
What I do like though about Drew at the minute is like just everything he's doing, like with the CM Punk stuff. I think that rivalry is like showing to be great already, and they're not even, none of them are in ring ready or whatever the fuck. Like, you know,
because they're both injured now, so or Drew might be back as of the next pay-per-view. So then it kind of all got cut short because it was Bourne and JD McDonough. JD McDonough, it made me laugh because he smacked Braun Strowman with a chair from behind, and it honestly looked like he'd just tickled him. Like it didn't move at all. And then Michael Cole made a bit of a boo-boo here because he called JD McDonough, he called him JD McDummer, and then realised what he'd done, and then quickly skipped off to something else to say his actual name. He also said JD McDonough with a headbutt with that massive head.
He does have a big head. Pause.
Um,
Sounds quite mad.
Yeah, so that was that. That was the comedy elements of Raw. Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser then intensified their rivalry, and then I thought this was really cool because I got a fun quote here. So Rey Mysterio then fought Carlito, and the last time they had a match that was on TV between each other was in 2004. I thought that was a really cool.
Wild.
Because I was looking at it and thinking, oh yeah, that used to be a match that would have been amazing. So I was like, and then I read down, and I was like, that was the first time I've had a match like that's been on TV since 2004. It's nuts.
That's crazy.
Chad Gable was then going to basically Red R / Kane Otis because he was like, hang on to the ropes and I'm going to whip your ass with a belt. He was just about to do it, and then Maxine Dupree stepped in and stopped it. And then Chad Gable called Maxine Dupree Goldilocks and her 3 brain cells. Which, yeah, I don't know. Something felt a little bit wrong. As much as off the cuff, that was quite funny. When I think about it deeper, I think there's something quite wrong with that in terms of how WWE and AEW are trying to portray their female wrestlers. So they're like equals now.
Yeah, but I don't even think it's like anything like to do with that. I think you're looking at it the wrong way. Like, I think it's more like Gable's heel. Like, he's a heel now, right? Like, that's how he is.
Yeah,
that's what a heel would do. It's like
maybe.
Pretend it's a man. Pretend Maxine Dupree's a man. Now it wouldn't make a difference. You wouldn't even think of that. So I don't think it's anything to do with.
Oh no, I just think it's a little. I don't know. For me anyway, like I don't find it that funny. I think it's a tiny bit distasteful. But again, I could be thinking too much into it. And then Liv Morgan then defeated Becky Lynch to retain the title in a steel cage match. Which obviously they're setting it up for Liv Morgan. Rhea Ripley must be quite close to coming back, else they would have just kept Becky Lynch with the title, I think. So she must be fairly imminent on a return to kind of come back and say, you took the title from me, let me rip your head off. So yeah, that's that really.
Oh, goodbye, Sam. Well, boys, I think that is that. I'm not sure where Sam's gone. Oh, there he is. The host is back. Is he? Yeah, there he is.
I closed myself down rather than to go on to the banners and stuff. So, yeah, that's it really. Obviously, we've had a bit of a manic week. I think we take a little bit of a break now in terms of pay-per-views until Clash in the Castle or whatever they want to call it. Which I think I'll actually be home for this one, so we could maybe live stream this one. To be fair, because we've not been able to be the ones that are like the hour time. Let me just double check. Clash at the Castle. So the date is the 15th of June. Which I would say I could have a look to see if I've got anything on. But my phone's gone to walk.
We just saw it out later.
Yeah, so potentially that could be a good one for us to stream.
If it's our time, then I'm definitely going to do it.
Scotland, it's in Scotland, isn't it? So, so we could maybe even, because obviously there'll be a SmackDown before it as well, because it's Saturday 15th of June. So we could maybe even do potentially a double header with the SmackDown the night before.
Ooh, I don't know.
Hour.
Wait, will the SmackDown be our time as well?
The SmackDown will be our time as well because the package the package tickets that were shockingly expensive came as you get SmackDown the night before as well as pay-per-view. Just got a comment.
Sweet.
And
Money in the
then-
Bank as well soon. Yeah, I like a bit of Money in the Bank and SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a SummerSlam?
So yeah, they're going to be two big ones as well afterwards. So yeah, that is that really. I shall place the banners on of
Our friends.
Yes, I would have if they're there.
Oh
don't know
no!
where they-
Don't tell me they're gone.
They've gone walking, so
No,
just do it.
I saw them earlier.
I know they were there earlier.
Unless there's like only so many you can add.
Now they've come back now.
Oh.
For some bizarre reason. So obviously earlier on I'd shoot off. But that's Devon's YouTube channel. He's got a lot of merch as well. So make sure you go check that out. Like we've seen in the comments, Gunner Gathering, I believe they're on stream now. So if you want to pop over to their Twitch or their YouTube, Posh is playing a little bit of Football Manager. My Twitch, kind of bit part, like I kind of just stream when I want. It's not really any schedule to it or anything. That is also very handily my Instagram as well. Probably where I post the most because my Twitter's non-existent. So that's that. Yeah, this is part of the show where I say, what's next for the channel? Is there anything in the works?
Oh no! Give me a second, Sam. My headphones are just come out. Give me a sec.
Shocking.
Sorry about that. I was gonna just go and pull the merch out, but I can't find it at the minute. But yeah, boys, go check out the merch, and I have got a little something in the works for you. I've got a video I'm working on right now, and it's about Big Brock Lesnar. That's what I was meant to say. So yeah, Big Brock Lesnar video coming soon. Just going over his insane debut, really. So yeah, keep an eye out for that one. Check out the merch. Check out the boys' his channels and stuff. And I enjoyed today, Sam. Thank you for being here.
Me too. We had a lot to talk about, and I do think it's one of our. I don't know. I don't think we tend to be animated very often as a channel. We don't tend to make things bigger than they are and go over the top. But I think today just was our raw kind of annoyance at things over the week.
It's necessary. It's very necessary.
I think it's very necessary, and I think that, like I say, we don't do that very often. So when that we do, like it actually means something, and you could see, I think
Did we even speak about the AEW shit at the end with the almost Owen Hart moment? Well, what I thought was going to be an Owen Hart moment. They lifted Darby Allin upside down. They had him upside down for about 10 minutes straight.
I forgot about that bit.
About 10 minutes, 15 minutes straight, he was upside down, blood rushing to his head. Like, no one trying to get him down or anything. Like, it makes sense, obviously, that the opponents aren't going to take him down. But there's someone controlling the thing.
Yeah, but it served no purpose as well, which is annoying, isn't it? Like, there's no reason for him to be up there for that length of time. Like,
no. Did it. What did they do it for? For the Reeboks with the thumbtacks on the bottom of them, wasn't it? Like, so they could have done that on the turnbuckle. They could have hung him upside down on the turnbuckle.
They did it so that two people could like kick him at the same time.
Yeah.
While he was up. But after
Just do that on the turnbuckle.
like, there was no need for him to be in that position. So, like, the welfare team or somebody's got to be going, get him down, get him the fuck down. Like,
it was wild.
But it just shows the stupidity that they're going through.
It was like honestly, Sam, I was like, what am I watching? I was like, nah, get him down, please. I couldn't even take like notice of what the other guys were doing when he was still hung there and they were finishing the match. I was just looking at Darby hanging there, and I was like, nah, this is like some big boss man type of shit like that. I'm getting flashbacks of Big Boss Man here.
But it then begs a bigger question, doesn't it? Like, that do they actually massively care about the welfare of the wrestlers? Because I'm not being funny, like burning somebody's leg, like that could have gone seriously wrong, like seriously wrong. Let alone how you've just like elaborated on that point, because I didn't think about it before you've just mentioned it just then, really, because I was kind of just watching.
Well, you went through so many as well, like so much stuff. Like I better just pass your mind, but yeah, I had to bring that up.
Actually, having thought of it now, when you've just explained it, it begs a bigger question. I think: are they all about how it looks and don't really give a shit about the wrestlers? Which, unfortunately, I kind of think we've got to at this moment in time wonder, really.
I think it's definitely safe to say they take a lot of liberties. Like they're not scared to take a risk with their wrestlers. Let's say that.
Yeah, they're not, but that would, to me, allude that that's maybe a good thing.
It can be a good thing.
But then
I think there's a big negative to it as well, like,
yeah, but then there's just pure stupidity, which is what I would.
There's a fine line, I feel like.
Oh, for sure. I know they've got to. They believe that because they're the smaller brand, they've got to do like these over the top things.
Yeah.
But then eventually, those over the top things can become more serious matters, like the WWE have had to deal with over the couple of times that there's been some serious shit that they've potentially killed some people by what they've done. So you then start to wonder, oh my God, is that going to happen to someone just by them trying to be out of the box? So I don't know. I suppose that poses a bigger question. I suppose that might be a good thing to maybe talk about in the next couple of weeks, if we keep seeing these kind of incidents and stuff. Like, I think that might be a good thing to bring back up when we've got all of us on there, just to see if it's me and you just thinking about it too much, or whether it's the consensus.
Nah, it's definitely not. Like,
yeah,
it's definitely not. I don't think so. Like,
no, I don't think so.
Oh yeah, so many other. I've seen a lot of opinions about this, and like I feel like this has been happening for a while, where they've been almost notorious for taking liberties and like sort of doing dangerous things in the ring.
Yeah.
Where, like you said, that's a positive. It can be a positive, but there's a big negative to it when it doesn't go right.
Yeah, I think they've managed to get away with it in a lot until recently. I think all the risks that have been taken have been paying off. But obviously, you've seen from this one pay-per-view the collateral damage in terms of Edge getting injured, in terms of, all the shit that happened. So yeah, you start to wonder, is their luck running out a little bit? And do they need to start taking it really seriously? Which they do. Because obviously a lot of people will be speaking about this, not just us. So yeah, I didn't. Not how I expected to end it, but there we are.
Sorry.
Sometimes it needs to be a little bit different. So yeah, see you all when we're next on stream, potentially next Sunday, but no promises. Bye.